We are gathered here today. No, we're unboxing, we're recording, and the kids are sleeping, and we're shooting a video, and we're having so much fun. It's been a minute since I've done a book update, except for that one community post where I said, hey, guess what? I have a book now. Which now I'm gonna back up just a little bit, but not really, because today is a very exciting day. And it's such an exciting day that we're shooting a video. Gil put some fancy lights on for you. I let my hair down. My husband's always complaining that I don't have big hair anymore, ever. Ladies, come on, we gotta protect those ends. We know it, right? Anyway, here we are. And what I have now is a box. This is the box. This is a box full of books. The book that I've spent the last year and 3 months working on. And I'm very excited to share it with you. I believe this is what we call an unboxing. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a first chapter book series, Ruby and Joseph. Ta-da! We've gone through many trials and tribulations to get this baby out to you. And where I last left off, I believe we were like choosing fonts, and I just started working with an illustrator, and nothing had been illustrated yet or anything, but we were just getting going. And then we stopped going. In the end, it turned out the wonderful illustrator that I was going to work with just could not fit me in the schedule, and I had to find someone else in the end to do the work. And I worked with a wonderful artist, Jemty Lowenstein, who was just such a delight and brought life and vigor and so much fun to the characters in this book. So now it's done, it's ready, it's here, and it's on Amazon. If you were wondering where to get it, because this is the part where you go, hey, Patrice, so where can we get it? If you're interested. So let me just remind you. So it's a kid's chapter book. It's aimed at children transitioning out of picture books who are ready to read longer books, but are not going into, you know, heavy duty novels or any such thing yet. And so they're illustrated, lightly illustrated to, you know, help engage the young reader. And so I guess you would call it like a transitional book, an early reader, an early chapter book, a beginner chapter book, something along those lines. It's high interest, meaning that like if there's a reader who's on the older side and getting into this type of book, it'll be interesting enough to hold their interest, but it's easy enough for a younger reader just getting into these kinds of books that they can enjoy it too. So it kind of really spans a good age range. Who would want to read this book? Or who are the parents who might want to buy this book? I wrote this book because I was really looking for greater variety of chapter books for my son when he was in this early reader transitional stage. And as much as I enjoy fantasy type books, I try to save those for a little later, but also I want a good mix of true to life stories, you know, realistic stories, so that there's a good balance in what is being read. And, you know, I just felt like I couldn't find enough variety, this type of chapter book. There are a lot of wonderful chapter books, by the way, out there, and I'm happy to share some of my favorites. But there was always something, you know, maybe language that I felt needed to be modified. And if he's reading on his own, like when I'm reading for my kids, if I feel something needs to be modified, I'll just change it as I'm reading. But now I'm handing it off, so, or, you know, good examples, things that when my children are finished reading the book, that if they're trying to copy or, you know, embodying the things that are being done in this book, that the things that I'm going to be happy that they're going to be copying or trying to do, or, you know, I mean, kids play at what they're interested in. Good examples from the characters in the book that I can be confident that what my children are absorbing from it is positive in nature, sort of good, not to be anything, but, you know, good morals, good values that I feel comfortable with. I mean, not that there are never any problems. There's lots of learning experiences in the book. So it's not that kids don't make mistakes. They learn from their mistakes, but you know, it's that you see the growth of the character. Anyway, I might be rambling. I wrote it for them and I wrote it for you. I wrote it for you moms, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends who are looking for this type of material for the young ones in their lives. The illustration process was, for me, a little bit nerve-wracking, but super, super exciting all at the same time. And I'm just really, really happy with how the illustrations turned out. Since I wasn't able to keep up with the process videos, I'll just give a quick rundown on the steps that we went through to get here. So after hiring the illustrator, after hiring Jemti, we went through a process of first I gave her like kind of a look and feel of what I wanted out of the characters and out of the book. You know, I put together, pulled from the internet some examples of similar types of books. I pulled pictures of what the characters could look like, just as inspiration. Not that, you know, you're drawing the person like this. This is the general feel that we're going for. And, you know, I gave a little description. I mean, I'm like, I think one of the things I said that the parents could easily have been like in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, moving out of Brooklyn to the countryside. And, you know, what these slightly hipster parents moving to the countryside might look like. Examples of what they might dress like, what hairstyles might look like, that kind of thing. And then feeling that I hired the right artist, that then she would take her style and work with that. I was very, very inspired. The first kind of sketches of potential characters I got, it was like, from the very simple brief I gave, she got it. She got the feel, she got the essence of what I was looking for. So from there, we delve into what the characters would look like. We go through some rounds of notes and changes and adjustments. And then I gave a list of what illustrations I would like to see. A simple description. If I thought there were kind of like hero illustrations that would be like larger and more detailed versus, you know, things that are simpler sketches, not a lot of background and stuff like that. And so we went through those rounds of notes and adjustments. And after that, after we nailed down those details, then she went into her zone to finalize the illustrations. From there, we went on to the cover. The cover. That was fun. Jemti had ideas of her own, and I had ideas of my own of what the cover could look like. So we threw out our ideas. I gave her my ideas, and she did sketches of her ideas and my ideas. And we went through all of them. I picked my favorites. We did some back and forth on that. And I think in the end, it was really just something that Jemti threw out at the end. And she's like, here's an idea I had. What do you think? And I was like, that's perfect. I love it. This is how it goes. After that, there's still some back and forth to finalize things, you know, a few notes here and there, but really it was like on point. And then in the end, we had our final cover. Once we were finished with the cover, then I get all the files and we ship it to the graphic designer who then lays out the book. And this is a whole other interesting process. And I really leaned on Maria Johnson, who did the book design, and her expertise. I basically gave her the illustrations and the manuscript with notes on where the illustrations belong. And it was just, I told her it was just a general guide, but you know, obviously I looked to her expertise to lay it out well and, you know, her judgment to see how that should go. She laid out a couple of pages for us to look at the fonts and the spacing and makes any adjustments if necessary from there. And then she did the whole rest of the book. And from there, you know, some minor adjustments, move this here a little bit there, maybe something a little bigger, maybe something a little smaller. But all in all, I was really happy with how Maria laid out the book. She also did a little work on the cover, the spine, and the words that go there, and on the back, and how everything fits. And then there's all these other little details, like the cover, then you have the title page, and the page after the title page, and the copyright page, and the dedication page, and oh, and the blurb at the back for the author and the illustrator. And you want decision fatigue? make an illustrated book, you get tired of making choices fast. Well, at least I did, but you know, I overcame that. Once we were doing that, that was also an opportunity. I talked in previous videos about going through the process of editing. This is our last chance to do a final round of proofreading. So I found a wonderful editor who actually offered a few more notes on some, you know, did a little light editing, a little bit of wordsmithing and polishing, interior and cover. She really was just such an angel, such a godsend, such a help. I really appreciated her work very much. Jill, really, such professionalism. I really appreciated having her eyes as kind of the last look for me. I felt really confident going forward. I think we did 2 rounds and that we were really ready to go to print. So that was it. And from there, it's just upload fun with Amazon, KDP in this case, or wherever it's going. We did create with Maria also a Kindle version, an ebook. It's available if that floats your boat. Now here we are with a final printed copy. So I am so excited, and I really, really, really hope that this is something that many children can get to enjoy. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. I hope this was interesting for somebody. If you have any questions about it, or if there's anything that you want me to hit in detail, just drop me some comments and I will do my best to address or, you know, answer in another video. I mean, this is not an author YouTube channel, but hey, you know, I'm happy to answer any questions I can. So as of now, Ruby and Joseph, a first chapter book series, is available on Amazon for paperback and on Kindle. There's something else I wanted to say and I lost it.